Hey everyone, I'm Mike from Cavell, and if you don't know me right now, which to be honest with you is really possible, that I've not managed to grab your attention so far. And if that is the case, firstly, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I've let you down. I've not grabbed your attention just yet. But I hope that I can from here on in. In essence, my background is in human resources and supporting businesses. I've been doing it for over 16 years, supporting businesses in a multitude of various different industries, ranging from things as obscure to hairdressers, to big NHS trusts, to other healthcare operators, hospitality, engineering, construction, opticians. The list really does go on and is really quite obscure, and it's been able to give me a wide breadth of lots of different ways that businesses operate and how they operate with their staff and what they're looking for really from their staff as they're going through that journey. But one of the biggest things about me that most people, not everybody will know who's not close to me, is that's my part-time job. Really, it's a full-time job, obviously more than, but in essence it's a part-time job. It really is, because my number one job, the number one objective for me out of everything, is being a dad first. I'm a father to two beautiful girls, and a happy father, and that is really seen into everything. So my own biggest fear really is my biggest fear is about letting my children down. I don't know, anybody out there, both mums and dads, may sympathise with this, that obviously when you have kids, for me, it's the be all and end all. Every objective that you do, you've got a huge burden of responsibility on you towards these little people that are in your lives. And for me, being a dad is the biggest priority. It's job number one is to be the best dad, the very best dad that I could ever possibly be in the history of all dads ever in civilization. And I worry endlessly about letting them down, whether it's I can't get them what they want for Christmas, if I can't get them the birthday party they want, if COVID steps in and stops you from being able to do little things that you would normally have done for their birthdays, but now you can't. All those things, whether they're in my control, out of my control, they're big impacts on me, because I want to be the best ever. Not the best I can be, the best dad ever. And I think really for me, part of that comes from, my own dad, my mum as well. There's absolutely the pair of them. But my dad absolutely is my hero. I'm so grateful because I get to work with my dad in our business as a family business, which means I get to work with my hero, because my dad was a taxi driver in the evenings and the weekends, and he was a building surveyor during the day, so he had multiple kind of hats that he'd wear at different times. My mum was a taxi driver as well, and we didn't have a lot of money growing up, I think that's safe to say, but we had a lot of fun, and I love the memories of my childhood, which were amazing, with my nans, Christmases, the cooking, the cakes. Oh my god, the cakes were amazing. But my dad, I remember, we're coming up to Christmas now, and I remember my dad would often work Christmas Day on the taxi. He'd work during the New Year's, and I remember large portions of Christmas that my dad wasn't there, not because he chose not to be, because he had to go out to try and earn extra money. And for me, I think subconsciously, perhaps, one of the things that's instilled with me is a work ethic, that obviously you need the money. If you want to get anywhere, you've got to work hard to get there. Nothing comes easily, nothing comes for free, most often than not. So in that sense of things, it really instilled that within me. And from that perspective, really, I had an absolutely fantastic family, absolutely fantastic childhood. And for me, it's important to me that I do the same thing for my children. I pass it on down the line. But the reason I'm here, the reason I'm even doing this video at all, really, is because of them, because of my kids, my two girls, because I'm here doing this business to try and help me to do the number one thing, which is to be the best dad I can be, to provide the things that I want to provide for my kids and everything else and more. And, you know, for us, everything we do in terms of our core values around being a family is something I think is not just limited to your home life. I don't believe that, you know, that family ethos of being a family is limited to the fact that perhaps, you know, your home life. It can absolutely spread out from that point of view to things like you might belong to a group. You might belong to a different football team. You may have an association with a particular group of fans who are fans of the football team and that particular group. And they could be people that you have sympathies with, you know, you have all the same values, you really support the team, and all those other bits and pieces, and you get along like house on fire because you are your own unique family. Whether it's your religion, whether it's the people that you go and practice your religion with, could be an extended family. Whether it's every time England plays rugby, football, cricket, whatever the case may be, you support the English team, the national team. You're there in unity with everybody else within the nation in patriotism for your country and your team. You know, whatever the case may be, these family ethics, these family ethos really goes beyond the boundaries of your home and goes to other places too. And for me, one of the questions really was, why wouldn't that extend to your business? And it's not necessarily the fact that, if you came from a place where you don't really, the whole idea of family is kind of alien to you. It's not about that kind of, you know, did you have a dad or did you have a mum figure in your life? It's a case of, it's the ethos, it's the unity. It's the case of people coming together and having a sense of belonging to a common purpose and a common goal that they want to achieve. And building a working family is where you build a place where people come to work for all the obvious reasons like money and all the other bits and pieces. Primarily, there's an aspect there that they're coming to work because they're driven and inspired by the goals, by the vision, by the family, by the culture that you've built within that business that really drives them to want to come there and be in the workplace. Not because they've got to pay rent at the end of the month, but because they want to, because they belong. They have a sense of belonging to this other group of people that are there as well. And they build that unity and they build that friendship, that rapport, that family, whatever you want to call it, whatever name you want to give it. Because one of the things we know from our background is, without a human aspect in your business, you don't have a business. It's as simple as that. So people always say you've got to, bad camera angles there, people always say that you've got to focus on your customers, put the customers first, they're the priority, you've got to think about them. When ultimately I'd always turn around and say, actually no, you've got to put your staff first, because at the end of the day, it's them that's representing you. It's them that is talking to your customers. It's them that are at the coalface. They're the people that are speaking to the people on the ground, not perhaps yourself. They're representing you. They're an extension of you. So why wouldn't you look at them first? Because it's them that's providing the service ultimately to your customers that they're paying for. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're a doctor, a nurse, or you work in hospitality, or your business is in engineering, or you're providing scaffolding to people, whether you're a window cleaner, ultimately the people in your business are the ones that are giving the service that the companies are paying for, your clients are paying you for. So you've got to put the people first. And by building that unity, by building that culture, by inspiring people to want to be there on that journey with you, where you're taking your business, it's going to enable you to really maximize the biggest asset in your business, which is your people. Your people are the biggest asset to your business. And by the way, they're also the most expensive. And you don't, unlike your printer or your machinery or whatever it is that you have in your business, you've probably got a manual, there's probably a mechanic, there's probably a technician, there's probably endless amounts of support online of manuals and downloads, updates and upgrades that you can get for all of them, right? You can't get that with a person. It just doesn't happen. Believe you me, when I first became a dad, there was no manual for being a dad. I had to learn what swaddling was all on my own. Swaddling, which in essence, by the way, is just making a fajita with a baby. That's all that process is. And if they described it like that, I would have known exactly what to do. Swaddling means nothing to me. But at the end of the day, it's exactly that process. It's about building that unity. It's about building that sense of belonging for everybody, that they've got a place where they want to come and want to be, and a job that they want to do for a business that they believe in, and the values that they sympathize with, and the vision that inspires them. And that's what people need, that's what people want, and that helps you and your business really to do onto the next stage of something which is phenomenal, which is enabling you to not use money, to not use some other kind of con trick or artistry to try and convince people to do things, how to win friends and influence people, none of that stuff. It's about tapping into that to enable the people you've got, the workforce you have, the asset you have, to outstaff your competition. Because the biggest difference between two coffee chain shops is, the coffee might be different, might be brewed in a different, roasted in a different way. Ultimately, it's the people and the atmosphere they create that also make the biggest difference. Wouldn't you agree? So in which case, you can use your biggest asset that you have in your business, your staff, and use them in the right way, then you can actually outstaff your competition. And that's where you really get yourselves ahead. And I think at no point in time has any of this about the working family and the assets in your business and outstaffing the competition being more relevant than it is right now in the heat of a pandemic crisis, whereby you are having to look at how you can cut back. Perhaps you've had to do restructures, redundancies, perhaps you're really just struggling in every way, shape or form, that you really need to tap into the people in your team. You can't do this alone. And you can tap into that team to give you that something extra that will help you to think creatively, to pivot, to move, and to ultimately make your business succeed. Guys, I hope if you've taken anything away from this message whatsoever, I hope it wasn't about a baby fajita, if I could say it right, and I hope in actual fact you've taken away that maybe the people in your business are having a key to the success of your business, and you need to tap into that now more than ever before, to build that culture of a working family in your business, because it's gonna make the world of difference. Build a family, build a team. Don't build a section of individuals. Build unity.